BU 365-day challenge, day 71 already. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our topic today is word or words. Now, I've got my U cup today. Known as you, and that is your superpower. And we're going to talk a little bit about you and how you define yourself, or any other word that you use. It's actually our point of personal power if we allow it to be. Now, words have the ability to do a lot of things, right? Words are our way of communicating to other people anything. Words are our way of describing and understanding things in our own life, both in our personal lives, our business lives, our interaction with other human beings, our relationships. Every area and aspect of our life, for the most part, involves words. Now, the most powerful thing about words to me is I get to decide what everything means. I get to decide what every word means. Each word carries with it energy and a life of its own, but I get to decide what that life is. So as I'm thinking about words, they have energy and power. They have the power to help, heal, honor, hinder, hurt, harm, humiliate, and to humble us, as well as, I'm sure, a whole lot of other words that start with H that I'm not thinking of this morning. The right words make all the difference. Now, I'm going to say 5 words that are extremely powerful and may or may not change everything for you. Your thoughts control your life, period. Whether you believe it or not, our thoughts, which are described in our mind by words and images, when we're communicating with other people, we use words because we can't swap the images with people in our minds to their minds, at least not yet. Maybe someday technologically we'll be able to do that. We won't need words to communicate. We'll just be able to have a thought and someone else will understand the image of our thought, and we'll have actually better communication. Who knows what the future will hold. I don't know that would be better. I don't think I'd want to go around reading people's minds all the time, or certainly wouldn't want them reading my mind all the time. They'd be like, how do you get anything done with all that craziness going on all the time? So the words in general have a dramatic effect on our life. Now, I just brainstormed a list of words that I know have had a huge impact on me. And some of them I have purposefully redefined in terms of what do they mean to me, because they make my life work better. Let me give you an example. When I first started losing my vision, I was living out in the country, really far out in the country, and I got to the point where I no longer felt safe driving. I self-decided, okay, I can't see well enough to drive. I need to stop doing this. But I lived out in the country, and so it started to get kind of lonely. My kids had moved out. My daughter was married and out in Colorado with her husband. He was becoming a power line lineman, and my son was actually living and helping and taking care of his grandmother, his paternal grandmother. Not my mom, but my ex-husband's mom. And so I was on my own out in the country, and I got kind of lonely. So I decided to redefine lonely. And instead of lonely being a bad thing, I flipped the switch and made it a powerful thing to be alone, because I had time and energy to do the things I'd wanted to do for a really long time and could never do. Projects around the house, projects, arts and crafty type projects I wanted to do, baking and creating type projects, organization and writing projects and learning projects, things like that. And so I changed the way I defined what lonely meant, and I made it really, really hard, like almost impossible for me to feel lonely. I changed my definition to all these crazy things had to happen in order for me to feel lonely. Otherwise, I was just alone. And there's a big difference, and it feels different to me to be by myself. I actually love being alone and spending time on my own. That's why I like walking out in the woods in nature by myself, or at the state park by myself. My sisters think I'm crazy. I actually love it because it's my quiet time to let my mind work on the things I want to work on and I want to think about. So that's one example. I did the same thing with depression. When I was in my 20s, I had to redefine depression because I was really, really sick and bedridden for a couple of years, and I had to take depression off the table for myself, or I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today. Another word I've changed the meaning of is success, failure. I've changed my definition of those, and if you want to know a trick for that, I may have covered it already in an earlier video, I don't remember, but if I haven't, let me know and we will cover that for sure, because there's an absolute easy trick, five letters, 2 words, that can change everything for you, and it did for me with respect to how we define success and how we define failure. So depression, failure, lonely, frustration is another one I had to do, because I found myself Actually, I didn't realize it until after I had a sudden cardiac arrest, but I was frustrated all the time. I made it so easy for me to feel frustrated. My definition of frustration back then was anytime anything wasn't going or didn't go exactly how I expected and wanted it to, then I would be frustrated. Whoa, really bad definition of frustration. I was frustrated and stressed out all the time. So I changed my definition of frustration, and it made it really, really hard for me to feel frustrated and stressed out. It made it really hard for me to feel stressed out. It made it really hard for me to feel impatient. So what are some other words that I have my own definitions for? Hope, try, hustle, struggle, greed, trust, honesty, God, pray, yes, no, commit, etc. So our action item today is just to think of one word and share that word and then your definition of it. Maybe if you want your definition right now, or your definition of what it was in the past and what it is now, or your definition of what it is now and that you may decide to change it or create a new definition. And if you're awesome, share your new definition with us, because every time we do this, every time we share this, it gives us an opportunity to help another person who might be struggling with the same word. It might be love. Love might be your word that you need to change the definition of it. Maybe you've got a definition for love that makes it almost impossible for you to feel love. Maybe worthiness, unworthiness, all of the above. Any word you can think of. I don't even know how many words in the English language, but there's a lot. So think of what you want it to mean to you. Today, our idiom for Supersize Your Business, which is a group of business people that I work with, is mind your P's and Q's. And for me, for the origination of the idiom, it comes from pints and quarts, and it is sometimes applied to school children. You know, make sure you're careful and meticulous and pay attention to the direction your P's and Q's and B's and D's and things go, because it's easy to get them mixed up when you're just a child learning how to write. And if you're dyslexic, it's even worse. I say that because my son and my daughter wasn't so dyslexic, but my son definitely was dyslexic, and it took a lot of work with different things to understand how he saw things. So, mind your P's and Q's to me is mind your people and your quality, because quality is how we do everything. People are our most important resource. So if I take care of those when I'm running my business, I know that my business will go in the direction I want it to do. It will be more successful. So pick a word, decide what it means to you, define it for yourself, know that you absolutely positively have the power, and you do it anyway. You either make your own definition for words, or you accept other people's definition of words. Now we can go ahead and we can do that, but if we accept other people's definition, we might be harming ourselves or cutting ourselves off from other possibilities. Think of the word prejudice. What does prejudice mean to you versus what does prejudice mean to a politician? What does racist mean to you versus what does racist mean to the media and a politician? What does all the other words that have been being made up in the media in the last 2 years mean to you? What does mandate, right? Mandate, boy, that's a big word that probably the vast majority of us, me included, never even thought of until 2020. So that's it. Have an awesome day. Share your word. I think this is a really powerful, easy exercise. You can do it as you go about the rest of your day, and have an absolutely amazing day. I'll be with you tomorrow. Another focus on our mental well-being. Have a great day. Bye.